Thanks for tuning in to Homestead Today. It's a little bit of a sad day. I found one of my baby goats passed away, and I'm not quite sure what happened to her as of yet. But as you can see behind me, I have my feeding trough that I built the other day, and I've been checking the progress to see how well it's been working, and it's been working really well. As you can see, I had this completely full of hay, and the goats have been eating from it, consistently, and I've been able to put small grains down in the lower tray here, and they've been seem to be taking to it pretty well. No problems with them reaching. I have my measurements pretty spot on as far as height wise, and I'm going to go check on my calves. I've already fed them this morning. They've been fed and taken care of, but I'm going to start introducing starter grains to them today. Just to show you some of the livestock that I have here at the homestead, we're going to take a little walk around and see what's around. So this is one of the barns that I keep them in, and as you can see here, this brown goat that's here, this is a Alpine and Nubian cross. She's the mother who lost the baby. This little baby that's standing beside of her, her mother is out here in the pen. There she goes, taking off right there. She's a bit of a wild one. She is a Alpine, and these are her two little babies. This is Elsa, and the brown one is Sandy. Elsa's a bit of a wild one, but she's a little crazy. And the two little ones you see here, that's Coco and Izzy. They are also Alpines as well. Every now and again we'll try to give them a bottle, but they've been nursing on the mother pretty well. Sandy's been having some problems taking to her babies, and she didn't quite been giving her baby enough milk, so we've been bottle feeding her. But there was a couple incidents to where the baby got hyperglycemic and almost caught hypothermia one night, but we kind of nursed her back to health, and she just, something else had to been wrong with her because she just passed away. We've been doing regular bottle feedings with her, and I think that something else might have been going on. So let's go over and check out the calves before I introduce them to the starter feeds and put them into the lot. Alright, so we're checking on our calves now. As you can see, they're being lazy again. These little rascals right here, they seem to be pretty tame. And that's one thing you want to make sure that you do when you are bottle feeding calves, is you want to try to get them more familiar with you and to help you out. As you can see here, this little white fella here, he very tame. He thinks he got some food or something. They are pretty daggone tame. I like it. Makes it easier on feeding them. Makes them more familiar when you turn them out into wider pastures. That way when you call to them, they get familiar with your voice. You can call them and then they'll come running to you. I'm not as worried about chasing them all over our fields or nothing like that, so this is going to help with that. I have them inside of the trailer still to keep them in a confined space so they don't get wild and run around. I'm getting ready to start introducing some starter feeds into them, so that way they can start eating solid foods. That is going to be a significant thing. Get them used to hearing that sound of the feed in the bucket so they know, hey, there's some food coming our way. Let me go see what's going on. Right now, they have already ate their milk replacement. It's been a few hours, so it's about time for them to actually start getting some, and I'm going to start giving them some water too, get them switched off of milk. Not quite yet, but getting them used to drinking water, especially after giving them that dry feed. They're going to need something to wash it down with. So let's go ahead and get some feed and some water and see how they do. Okay, so now I've introduced water and starter feeds to them. The best way in order to them to start drinking water is when you're feeding the milk replacer, to get them, if you're feeding with a bottle, to get them to take and start drinking out of the bucket. That'll get them more familiar with putting their head over the bucket and getting the milk out of it, which will make it easier for them to be able to get water as well. When it comes to the starter feeds, you just kind of have to put some out there and, you know, put some in your hand and try to get it up to the face and let them get familiar with it. And if they'll lick it out of your hand, they'll get it in their mouth and they'll get more familiar with the taste of it. That's one way to do it. Some people will just put it out there, and if they get hungry enough, they'll go ahead and start eating it. I'm going to try to do a little bit of both. I'm going to leave some out, and I'm going to try to put some in my hand and try to get them to eat it out of my hand. As far as the switching over from the bottles over to the bucket, usually if you put your fingers over in the bucket, get some milk on your fingers, let them suck on your fingers, and then try to guide their head down to the bucket, they'll see that, hey, there's milk there, and then they'll usually will start to drink out of it. It'll take a few tries to do it. They're not going to do it immediately because they're going to be a little skeptical. But once you get their head over into the milk, they'll know that that's where the milk is, and then they'll start drinking out of the bucket. Now, as you can see, I have hay stocked up inside of my trough now. They just come up here, they'll stick their nose in it here, and they'll start pulling it out and eating it. Great way, it's been working great so far. I must say that, you know, this right here saved me a lot of money in order to build this myself instead of purchasing it at an agriculture store. I have no money in this. All this was scrap wood that I had already, so therefore, you know, it took me some time. I got, as you seen in the previous video, I had a couple things jumping my way, so I got a little distracted on it, but I got it finished. It's all done. It's in here. It's been working great. I've put feed in there, and they can reach everything just fine. It's all good. So I'm really happy that I did it like this, and hopefully that this right here will be a blueprint or some kind of ideal process for you to be able to come up with something for your livestock on your homestead as well. Let's go check out the goats one more time. Okay, differences in these two types of goats. Well, this Alpine right here, she's a long lanky goat. She has ears. And this one is an Alpine and a Nubian, not a Nubian, excuse me, a La Mancha, an Alpine and La Mancha cross. Both are great dairy goats. These are the types of goats that you use for milking. This black one right here, she's a little skittish, as you can see. She doesn't really like being on camera apparently. And this one right here, she's kind of a more or less a bully, if you ask me. She always headbutts the black one a lot. But they both put out a lot of milk, and as you can see, her two little kids right there are nursing off of her, and they seem to be thriving very, very well. Goats love roughage. They love briars. They love anything that cows don't eat. Sticks. You can see them picking around in here. This lot had grew up, and I put them over in it, and you can see they have mowed this thing down to nothing. So it's been great. This fence right here had some, you can see like outside of the pen there, how all those vines are growing on it. Well, they have cleaned this thing off, so I need to get a little temporary pen going over there so they can clean that up as well. There was a tree there and it fell. We had a windstorm and it fell down. But anything like that, they love it. They love that rough stuff. They love it, love it, love it. They'll eat poison ivy as well. Where did they go? Here they are. They're inside of here eating from the new trough. And there go the babies as well. But they're doing very, very, very well. And this is another angle of my trough here. And they're in it eating Doing just fine. Now, I got some repair work to do on here. Here's the other side. Turned out to be a pretty good old thing. Hey, Sandy. Now, one thing you want to remember when you have goats, goats are very, very rowdy. They are Houdinis in my book. They are escape artists. If you have a pen, you need to make sure that you have a stock wire with barbed wire across the top of it, because they do not like barbed wire. But anything else, they will climb it and they will get out. If they can get their weight on it and push it down, they're out of there. Trust me when I tell you that. If you have your goats tamed, if they do get out of your pen, they ain't gonna go far. They know that that's where the food source is, so they're gonna stick around there. But they do get curious and they do want to go explore, but they're not gonna go very far unless they're wild. You know, if you don't handle them right often or whatever, they'll just take off and there's no telling where they'll go. So that's been my little journey for the homestead today, talking about my livestock, showing you what goes on with them, little history lesson on them. Well, so much just more or less information on them. Showed you how my feed trough go. My calves doing well, got them on starter feeds and water. So check out my next video. Make sure you subscribe to the page, leave a comment, ask questions. Until next time, check me out later.